What's going on, everybody? Welcome to EDC Tanto Knives. Today we are going to talk about the knife industry and where it seems to be going these days. So I kind of titled this Adapt or Sell Out. As we go along, you will figure out exactly why I say that. So we are going to take a look at a few knives today that I think are very much reminiscent of the industry today. So SOCOM Bravo by Microtech. That will be something we will be discussing, and we will also be discussing a little bit of cold steel and a little bit of SOG knives. So let's get to it. So basically, the way things are boiling down today is we are at the best time in the industry as knife collectors, knife enthusiasts, because we're getting all the best materials and the best options around. There are a lot of other challenges, especially for the knife companies in general. Some of them are not really adapting. They're not really coming through with new and innovative designs, while others are. We also have this time right now with the current situation of the economy in the virus days. Companies have really been suffering for a few years now. And we see it. We see it in the availability of what we are accessing for knives. And so this really comes down to the fact that cold steel, about a year ago, sold out to GSM Knives. Well, a year later now we see SOG Knives has done the same exact thing. They are now bought out by GSM also. So this brings up a very interesting predicament. What is the real situation? Was it the fact that Lynn Thompson needed to retire, or was it really kind of the fact that maybe he just is running out of innovative ideas that are really speaking to his clientele? Who knows? We can speculate all day long about what can and can't happen. Bottom line is, he did sell out. He sold out to GSM. Not a big deal. The man deserves to retire. Now we're seeing SOG Knives again doing the same thing, selling right out to GSM. Is it the fact that they can't come up with innovative new ideas? They've tried to refurbish the brand over the summer. Was that part of the sale? Was that part of a failure to adapt? We may never know again. But we are definitely, as collectors and enthusiasts, especially me, definitely a collector and enthusiast of knives, and so take advantage of a lot of the great companies making knives. We are also in a time where a lot of Chinese manufacturers are making some knives that are just out of this world as far as the quality of workmanship, the materials being used, in a price that very few American companies here can compete with. Ask any knife designer, developer, machinist, whatever. If they're totally honest, they will tell you they can't compete. It's good and bad all at the same time. We can discuss that later in another video. But today we really just were talking about the fact of what these companies, what do they really need to do to speak to us as enthusiasts, collectors, and so on and so forth. Also, they really have to watch out for their own company, their own brand. Since the virus, they're not able to make a lot of knives like they used to. They're short-staffed. They have had to cut the workforce probably in half, if not more. So that affects them very much, and that affects us with the availability of knives and, in general, even craftsmanship sometimes. Companies that aren't willing to sacrifice are going to put out a lot less knives. Hence, like Hinder Knives and a lot of these other great companies, they're not going to sacrifice so they're just not going to come out with much. Other companies, they're willing to sacrifice, and we see it in their designs. So, and that brings us to the SOCOM Bravo. A lot of hate on the fact that this moved to a Chinese manufacturer, which is SOG Knives. It's kind of surprising to me. I think that the knife is fabulous. Everything about it is great. Some people, some YouTubers even are arguing the fact that they're selling from themselves and not retailers. Not really sure what their motivation is, because you turn around and you look down below and they're using affiliate links. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone deserves to make money. It's really hard to make anything in YouTube land, and we try to do what we can. But you have to wonder if they're, you know, going after Microtech for selling direct instead of to the retailers, what the motivation is there. Microtech, I don't think, is being devious. They're not hiding the fact that this knife is made in China or made by SOG Knife. They've been pretty open and honest about it, and I don't have a problem with it at all. I think they're doing a very good job. Some of the reason maybe that they're doing it direct, there's a lot of Chinese knockoffs out there. So if you're getting it straight from Microtech, you're getting a legitimate Microtech knife. And the Chinese knockoffs, guys, if you've ever seen them, I have seen them. They are garbage. A lot of them are garbage. You're never gonna see. They'll look like this, but they're never gonna operate like this. They're not gonna have the fit and the finish that these knives are gonna have coming from Microtech, or in all honesty, from the higher end Chinese manufacturers. So we're definitely seeing a totally different situation there. So, and who knows? You also got to keep in mind, SOG Knives in general, their higher end knives are $500 and $600. Is Microtech also trying to cut some of the expense to save to the consumer? So at $350 shipped, that's a pretty good deal compared to $500 or $600. And this is definitely a higher end SOG knife, straight from SOG. There's no question about it. So with your added expenses from the retailers, you're probably going to pay $500 for this knife from the retailers. And what's also get the gorilla in the room, this is not a SOCOM Elite. This is a SOCOM Bravo. This was a custom made, custom designed by Microtech. This is not a custom Elite. With a big difference. So these guys that all want to sit here and argue the fact that you're paying $50 more for a Chinese knife, it's not an Elite. Totally different knife. Totally different. So let's just get that barrier out of the way, because they're totally different knives. And if you can't see that, you probably have an issue. I'm not going to argue Chinese and US made knives right now. That's another video, and we will get into it. So either way, I think we're definitely seeing a time right now that is challenging for the knife designers, knife makers, any new knife guys that are coming into the industry. Whew, good luck to them, because they're dealing with YouTubers. It's a whole different world today than it was 10, 20 years ago. You didn't have YouTubers. No one even knew what they were. Huge challenge. That's why we're seeing a lot of the M390s and all these custom blade steels. Let's be honest, 80% of us will never use them to the fullest anyway for what the quality of the steels. Let's be perfectly honest. As an basic EDC knife, you're never going to use most of these steels like MagnaCut. Not going to use that to the fullest. But it's good to have, especially if you can get it at a good price. Who's going to argue? I'm not going to argue. I'm not a steel snob by any stretch of the imagination, but I love everything about the blade steels, all the quality materials. The more I can get for the money, I'm sure most of you aren't going to argue either. We can again debate the Chinese American aspect, but you know, there's a lot of great knives being made in the US. Also very hard to get and also very expensive sometimes. Some guys out there are on a budget and can't afford even $350. But at $350, I can tell you, you're getting your money's worth out of that knife. So there you go. You know, we were definitely faced with a lot of challenges, all of us, as the consumer base and the manufacturing base. They're all definitely up for challenges these days. And they either have to adapt and die or adapt and sell out to GSM. Because obviously GSM is looking to make some serious moves in the knife industry. So it's going to be interesting to see what those guys do in the future. And we will be watching at this channel for sure. I'm watching Cold Steel, and now I will be watching the SOG Knives, and we'll see what they do. Are they innovative, or are they just going to keep recycling the same old knives in bubble packaging at Walmart? We will see. So there you guys go. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of just the industry in general and where you're going. Let me know of what companies you think are next to sell or next to really grow. Because I think we have some companies out there that really have a great chance for growing a lot too. There's a huge industry, but there's a lot of consumers. So depending on how we come out of the virus days and everything else in the world, it's going to be interesting. And stay tuned on this channel because we are always going to take a look at it and debate it. So let me know in the comments, guys, who's a threat, who's going down, who's selling out, or let me know who you think is doing some of the right things. I think this knife is the right thing for Microtech. They're struggling to put knives out. They're giving the consumer a very, very good knife for the money, and hopefully that's working out for them in their bank account too. So we shall see. So there you guys go. Make sure you subscribe, and we will see you next time on the next EDC Tanto Knives videos. So have a great day, guys. Bye.